Hi everyone. Today you will learn how to factor trinomials by using the method of exhaustion. So here is today's FLT. Given trinomial expressions, I will be able to factor them by using the method of exhaustion. So far we've learned how to use the GCF method and the dots method. But you're probably asking, when do we use each method? So let's write it out really quickly. So we want to use the GCF method, so finding the greatest common factor, whenever applicable. So whenever you feel like it's going to work, you can use the GCF method. But for dots, you can only use the dots method when it's a binomial and you see that it's a difference of two squares. So you can only use it when it's a binomial. And then today we're going to talk about the method of exhaustion. So this method works when you're looking at a trinomial. So what exactly is the method of exhaustion? No, it doesn't mean you're going to be exhausted after. In this case, exhaustion is like you're using up all your choices. So earlier you learned how to expand and simplify something. So let's take a look at one of those types of examples. So expand and simplify 2x plus 3 times x plus 1. Let me rewrite that right here. And I'm going to use the distribution method to multiply the polynomials out. So the 2x to the x and the 1. So 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 1 is just 2x. And then I distribute the 3 as well. So 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 1 is 3. And then I'm going to write it out. So 2x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 3. And notice here I can combine like terms. So 2x plus 3x is 5x. Everything else stays the same, so I have 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. So this is just a quick review of what we did last time. So we expanded and simplified to get 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. So today our idea, or like our goal, is how do we go back? So right here, let me write out what we just had. So we got 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. So first think about what times what would equal 2x squared. So what are some factors of 2x squared? So I notice that I can break down 2x squared into 2x times 1x. And then let's look at the last term, the constant. The 3 I can break down into 1 times 3. So I'm breaking down the first term and the last term into factors. So next I'm going to write out this like general form of factoring the trinomials. So the 2 parentheses. And then I'm going to fill out the first parts with the 2x and the 1x. And then this next part, it's going to feel like you're guessing and checking, which is true, but you're not just randomly guessing. Eventually you're going to have these like little tips and tricks that'll help you guess more efficiently. So first, why don't I try 2x plus 1 and 1x plus 3? So again, the 1 and the 3 are the factors of that last term up there. So how I can easily check to see whether this works or not is to multiply the two outside terms and the two inside terms together. So 2x times 3 is 6x, and 1 times 1x is 1x. And now I'm going to combine these terms. So what is 6x plus 1x? That's 7x. But up here with this original expression, I want 5x. And so 7x is not equal to 5x. So I know that this guess was incorrect. So since that didn't work, I'm going to try out the other guess. So same format with the parentheses, and then I'm going to put 2x and the 1x. But now I'm going to try, so plus 3 and plus 1. So I'm trying out my other option. So to test it out, I'm going to multiply my two outside terms and my two inside terms. So 2x times 1 is 2x, and 3 times 1x is 3x. I'm going to combine those. 2x plus 3x equals 5x. Is that the same as this middle term up here? Yes. So this is our solution. So let me rewrite it. We factored the expression to get 2x plus 3 times x plus 1. And this is the same as what we originally started off with a few minutes ago. All right, so let's take a look at our first actual example. We will factor x squared plus 8x plus 12. So let me rewrite that. X squared plus 8x plus 12. So let's write out the factors of x squared. We only have the x times x. But over here, for the factors of 12, we have a few different options. So we have 1 times 12, or 2 times 6, or 3 times 4. So this guess and check process might take a little longer than earlier. Again, let's focus on this middle term, the 8x. Okay, so I'm going to write out this form of factoring. And I know that I have to write in x's for the first parts because that's all we have. Like, that's the only options we have. So it's going to be x plus something times x plus something. So let's now try the method of exhaustion. I noticed that this 1 times 12, that's probably not a good fit since we're trying to go for 8x in the middle. So I just feel like 12 is going to be too big of a number. So instead, let's try 3 and 4. So x plus 3 times x plus 4. And to check our work, we want to multiply the two outside terms and the two inside terms. So x times 4 is 4x, and 3 times x is 3x. And let's combine these two. So 4x plus 3x equals 7x. And that's not the 8x we're looking for. So I know that this is an incorrect option. So that didn't work, so let me cross that out. So I'm left with the 2 and 6 option. So let's try that out. So let me write it out. We're going to have x plus 2 times x plus 6. And again, I want to multiply the outside terms together and the inside terms together. So x times 6 is 6x, and 2 times x is 2x. And I combine these terms, so 6x plus 2x equals 8x. And I notice 8x is that middle term that we are looking for, so this must be the solution. So let me rewrite it. Our solution, so when we factor the trinomial, is x plus 2 times x plus 6. And go ahead and pause and rewatch as necessary. I know this is a lot of information to process, so go ahead and go back in the video if you want to watch it again. Alright, so let's take a look at another example. So again, we are going to factor by using the method of exhaustion. So factor x squared plus 11x plus 24. Alright, so let me rewrite that. X squared plus 11x plus 24. Alright, so I want to break down the first term, the x squared. So there's only one way that breaks down. So this is just going to be x times x. And then next, I'm going to look at the last term, the 24. So there's a few options for this. So we have 1 times 24, or 2 times 12, 3 times 8, and then we even have 4 times 6. So it looks like a lot to guess and check, but remember, we can kind of take an educated guess and get rid of the top two options, because remember, I somehow want to get that middle 11x. So let me first write out the parts that we for sure know. So I'm going to set it up with the 2 parentheses, or like the 2 sets of parentheses, and then the x and the x. So it's going to be x plus something times x plus something. So again, I'm going to cross out this 1 and 24 pair, as well as the 2 and 12 pair, because I just feel like these 2 sets are too big when my end goal is to get that middle term 11x. So instead, I'm going to try out the 3 and 8 pair. So x plus 3 times x plus 8. Remember to check, I'm going to multiply the outside terms first and also the inside terms. So x times 8 is 8x, and 3 times x is 3x. So I combine these, and 8x plus 3x equals 11x. And this is what I'm looking for, 11x. So I factored using the method of exhaustion. And so let me just rewrite it. I got x plus 3 times x plus 8. Alright, another example. Let's do this one together as well. So factor x squared plus 8x plus 15. So let me rewrite that. X squared plus 8x plus 15. So the x squared, this just breaks down into x times x. And then the 15 either breaks into pairs 1 and 15 or 3 and 5. And again, I'm focusing on the middle term right here, the 8x. Right, so let me write out the general form. We know for sure that we're going to have x plus something and x plus something. But I think I can cross out this 1 and 15 pair because I want the 8x. So nothing bigger than that. So instead, I'm going to choose the 3 and the 5. So x plus 3 times x plus 5. Remember to check. We want to multiply the outside terms and the inside terms. So x times 5 is 5x, 3 times x is 3x. And when we combine the terms, 5x plus 3x equals 8x. Voila! It's the 8x that we were going for. So I know that when we factor this trinomial, it factors out to x plus 3 times x plus 5. Alright, so please use the method of exhaustion to factor this trinomial. X squared plus 18x plus 80. Okay, so now let's take it one step further. So factor 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. Notice right here, this 2x squared, this is going to make us have a few more options to choose from. So this 2x squared, this breaks down into either x times 2x or 2x times x. Same thing, just written the other way around. Then the 3 breaks down into either 1 times 3 or 3 times 1. And remember, when I'm trying out different combinations, I want to focus on obtaining the 7x. So let me write out the general form. So first, let's try 2x and x. So 2x plus something and x plus something. So let's try out this 1 and 3 combo first. So I multiply the outside terms together and the inside terms together. So 2x times 3 is 6x. 1 times x is 1x. And then we combine like terms. So 6x plus 1x equals 7x. And that is what we're going for, the 7x in the middle. So we know that this is the correct combination. So let me rewrite it. 2x plus 1 times x plus 3. So we factored it out. All right, this next example, we're going to factor 5x squared plus 19x plus 12. So let me rewrite that. 5x squared plus 19x plus 12. So the 5x squared breaks down into 5x times x. And then the 12, this is going to break into, we have a few options. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, or 3 times 4. So let's see which option allows us to obtain this middle 19x. Okay, so let me write out the general form with the 2 parentheses, or like 2 sets. Okay, and then 5x and the x, 5x plus something, x plus something. So let me first try the 3 and 4 pair. So 5x plus 3 times x plus 4. So I'm going to multiply the 2 outside terms and the 2 inside terms. So 5x plus 4 is 20x. But this already tells me that it's way too big because I'm trying to go for 19x. So I know that this pair is not an option. I didn't even multiply the inside terms because that 20x is already bigger than the 19x we're going for. So I'm going to try out another option. So maybe let me switch this pair that we just used. So I'm going to do 5x and x still. So the 5x plus x plus. So I'm going to switch it around and I'm going to try 5x plus 4 times x plus 3. So I'm going to multiply the outside terms together and the inside terms. So 5x times 3 is 15x, and 4 times x is just 4x. We combine these terms. So 15x plus 4x equals 19x. Yay! So this is a match. So I know this combination works. So when I factor it, I got 5x plus 4 times x plus 3. Okay, let's take a look at another example. I know I'm giving you guys a lot more examples than usual, but it's just because I want you guys to get used to seeing this whole method of exhaustion so that when you guys do practice problems on your own, you're better at making these like mathematical guesses. So we're going to factor 9x squared plus 66x plus 21 here. So notice right here, the 9x squared, this breaks down into 9x times x, so 9x times 1x, but also 3x times 3x. And then this 21 over here, we can either do 1 times 21 or 3 times 7. So we have a few options here. And again, I want to find a combination where we get that middle term, the 66x. So for the first parts, I'm going to try out this 9x and 1x combo. So 9x plus something and 1x plus something. So let's think about which combination I want to use. The 1 and 21 seems a little iffy, so I'm going to try this 3 and 7 combination. So what do we do to check if this is correct? We're going to multiply the two outside terms together and the two inside terms. So 9x times 7 is 63x, and 3 times 1x is 3x. So 63x plus 3x, we're combining like terms. This equals 66x, which is the same as this middle term that was given. So we know that this works. And so when we factor this trinomial out, we know that 9x plus 3 times 1x plus 7, so x plus 7, must be the correct factoring solution. So before you do this example on Edpuzzle, go ahead and rewind and rewatch if you need to watch any of the examples again, so that you can try this example on your own. So in this next example, we are going to factor 3x squared minus 8x plus 4. So let me rewrite it. And notice right here, there's now a negative. So there's a few more things to consider. So the 3x squared still breaks down into something like 3x times 1x. But this 4 over here, so if we break it down into positive factors, we have, for example, 1 times 4 or 2 times 2. But since we're thinking about the negatives, we can write also negative 1 times negative 4 or negative 2 times negative 2 as options. And if you notice, since the constant is positive 4, the two factors would have to be the same sign, because a positive times a positive is a positive, and a negative times a negative is also positive. And so be careful about the signs when you work with these problems. And again, we want this middle, I only highlighted the 8x, but we want the middle negative 8x. So let's see which combinations might work. Since we want to go for that negative 8x, I'm going to focus on the negative options right here. So the negative combinations. So I know I can use the 3x and the 1x. And then for this second part, let me try out, let's see. So 3x minus 2 times 1x minus 2. Okay, so I'm going to multiply the two outside terms and the two inside terms. So remember there is a negative, so 3x times negative 2 is negative 6x, and negative 2 times 1x is negative 2x. So we're going to combine the like terms. Negative 6x minus 2x equals negative 8x. Go ahead and pause if you need extra time to process the information. I see that the negative 8x is a match, so our answer is 3x minus 2 times x minus 2. So this is the combination that works. Let's look at another example of similar format. So factor 3x squared minus 20x plus 25. I'm going to rewrite it here. Notice once again that we have this negative middle term, the negative 20x, and then the positive constant term. So 3x squared breaks down into 3x times 1x. And the 25 over here, since it's a positive 25, we have the options 1 times 25 or 5 times 5, or negative 1 times negative 25, or negative 5 times negative 5. And I'm going to focus on these negatives since I want a negative middle term. So let me start choosing some options. So I'm going to write it in the 3x and the 1x. And I'm going to try out 3x minus 5 times 1x minus 5. So multiplying the outside terms to check. 3x times negative 5 is negative 15x. And the inside terms multiply to negative 5x. And when I combine these, I get negative 20x. And this is that middle term we were looking for, the negative 20x. So I know that I've factored correctly. So I'm going to write it out. 3x minus 5 times x minus 5. All right, next example is on Edpuzzle. Notice that there is a negative middle term and a positive constant term. Let's take a look at another example here. So this is going to look a little bit different from earlier. So we're going to factor 4x squared minus 15x minus 25. So let me rewrite it. And notice here now we have two negative terms. So the negative 15x and also the negative 25. So this first term, the 4x squared, this breaks down into either 4x times 1x or 2x times 2x. And then the constant negative 25 at the end, this is going to break down into a few options. So since it's a negative 25, we can do either 1 times negative 25, 5 times negative 5, or switching the signs around. So negative 1 times 25 or negative 5 times 5, which is technically the same thing as earlier, just written the other way around. So notice here, since we want to multiply into a negative 25, we're going to use different signs. So each pair has opposite signs, like a positive times a negative or a negative times a positive. Let's take a look to see which combinations will work. So let me write out the two sets of parentheses. I'm going to start with the 4x and the 1x pair. Again, it's kind of like a trial and error session. So I'm not 100% sure, but let's just try this out. So 4x minus 5 times 1x plus 5. Let's see if this works by multiplying the outside term and the inside term. So the outside term, 4x times 5 is 20x. And then the inside term, negative 5 times 1x is just negative 5x. So I'm going to combine like terms. So 20x minus 5x equals 15x, which isn't the negative 15x we're going for, but it seems really close. So what I'm going to try out is just flipping the signs. So I'm going to try 4x and 1x still, but I'm going to try 4x plus 5 times 1x minus 5. So same process, multiplying the outside terms. 4x times negative 5 is negative 20x. Then the inside terms, 5 times 1x is positive 5x. So I'm going to combine this. Negative 20x plus 5x equals negative 15x, which is exactly what we're looking for. So I know I factored correctly, and so let me just rewrite it. I factored it into 4x plus 5 times x minus 5. And let me just cross out this first one we tried out so you guys don't get confused. This one didn't work. So let's do one last example together. So we are going to factor. So 6x squared plus 7x minus 49. So notice here, this is a little different compared to what we've been looking at because the middle term is positive and that last constant term is a negative 49. So let's break down the first term, the 6x squared. We can either do the 6x times 1x pair, or there's also a 3x times 2x option. The constant term right here is a negative, so remember we want different signs for the pairs. So for example, we can have 1 times negative 49, or 7 times negative 7, or negative 1 times 49, or negative 7 times 7. Remember, we want different signs because we want a negative 49. So which combination is going to give us this middle 7x? So let's try out an option. So I'm going to try out the 6x and 1x pair. And then let's see. So why don't I try 6x plus 7 and 1x minus 7? As usual, let me multiply the outside terms out and the inside ones. So 6x times negative 7 is negative 42x. But I noticed that this is already way too off from the 7x, the positive 7x that we're going for. So I don't think this is the right option. I'm gonna cross it out. So why don't we try out like the 3x and 2x combination instead? So maybe 3x minus 7 times 2x plus 7. Let's see how that looks. So I'm going to multiply the outside terms together. So 3x times 7 is 21x. And then the middle terms, the inside terms. Negative 7 times 2x is negative 14x. I'm going to combine it. So 21x minus 14x is 7x. So it's a positive 7x, and this is the middle term that we are definitely looking for. So I know that I've factored this trinomial correctly using the method of exhaustion to get 3x minus 7 times 2x plus 7. And then your last problem on Edpuzzle, please just be careful about the signs. Remember, the constant term is negative 4, so think about using different signs for the factors. So great job on making it through the lesson. Today you learned how to factor a trinomial by using the method of exhaustion. So basically writing a bunch of options out and then using educated guesses and checks to see which combination gives you the correct factoring. And the more practice, the less exhausting it'll be. So be sure to turn in your notes on Canvas and please complete the practice problems.